Alright guys, so Piggy Book 2 Chapter 8 is finally here. The boat map, or should I say the ship map. It's finally here. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything about this chapter. We're going to go over the story. We're going to go over both endings, because there are two endings to this story. We're going to go over the notes. There's a lot of notes. There's 10 notes on this map that I've found so far. We're going to go over the skins. We're going to break down the ending. We're going to go over everything. Now, before we get into it, just like we do with every new Piggy update, we're going to be giving out some Roblox codes. If you want a Roblox code, all you got to do is be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below with your Roblox name, and that's it. I'll pick a winner in the next video. With that being said, though, let's go ahead, let's run through the chapter, let's run through the story, and then we'll talk about notes and skins and characters and all of that. So this chapter begins with where the last one left off. Captain Bungie is like, hey, if we want to get across the North Sea here, we're gonna need some gas. There's some gas down in the basement of the ship, but the problem is, well, there's a lot of infected down there, so good luck. So the player and Willow Wolf, you team up, you go, you explore the bottom of the boat. I'm just gonna call it a boat, and you finally find the gas down there at the very bottom. It's in a giant container. Now, when you go in the container, well, you almost get attacked by an infected. All right, Willow closes the door just in time, locking Willow and the player inside of the container with the gas. And then there's like a few minute scene here where Willow Wolf and the player kind of just talk, because Willow doesn't like the player because the player was a police officer who arrested, you know, her, and she blames the police for her losing her family. And then the player is just like, you know, I was just doing my job. You shouldn't have been a criminal. I'm so sorry. And then Willow's like, well, I had to be a criminal. That was the only way I could have fed my family. If I didn't do all that stuff, they wouldn't have survived. So it was kind of like this back and forth, like both of them were right, but both of them were also wrong at the same time. And then right before they kiss, you know, because they're just sitting there, they're talking, they're like, you know what, I kind of actually really like you. You know, they're totally about the kiss, right? And then all of a sudden, George and Pony and the whole group, they open up the container, completely ruining the moment. Okay, they actually weren't actually going to kiss, but I just, you know, I just threw that in there. Anyway, Georgie says that, well, he heard them down there in the basement. He figured that they were trapped, and so the rest of the group went down there and got them out. They unlocked the door, they got them out, everything was fine and dandy. Something to note here, though, is they do say, I forget which character it is, but they do know, I think it's actually Mimi, she says that she didn't see any more infected on the boat. So where did all the infected go? Where did the one go that we saw in the cutscene? Where's all the ones that we saw, you know, throughout the map? Apparently they just randomly disappeared and they're not there anymore. I'll have a theory on this later this week, so make sure you're subscribed. Anyway, as they're talking, they start hearing explosions. So they go back up to the front of the ship, to the I guess the top side of it, and that's where Captain Bungie is like, hey, you know what? We arrived at Doveport, and there's explosions going off all in the distance. Presumably the army is firing at infected or something like that. And then that's where the chapter ends. Now, something to note here is that Captain Bungie actually lied to us. All right, Captain Bungie said we needed to go get the fuel, otherwise we weren't going to make it to Doveport. But we actually were locked in the basement with the fuel when we arrived at Doveport, which means we didn't actually even need the fuel to begin with, and Captain Bungie lied to us. We're going to talk more about this here in a second, but just know that Captain Bungie is a filthy liar and something weird is going on with her, or him. Or her. I think it's a her. And that's where the chapter ends. Now, there are two different versions, depending on if you got the Savior ending or the Survivor ending back in the factory map, just like with Chapter 7. And there's not really anything different here. If you got the Survivor ending, Mimi doesn't show up in the final cutscenes. If you got the Savior ending, Mimi's there. Other than that, there's really not much difference. She doesn't really do anything in the chapter. So I'm not really going to show the Survivor ending because there's really no difference here. The only one difference is Mimi says that all the infected just seemingly have disappeared off the boat somehow. So that's the story. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the notes. There are 10 notes on this map. So the first note here says, they got me. Next to the captain, I was the last. I'm stealing the ship so she can live on. I felled too many people today, but I refuse to fell everyone. -K, and we'll talk about who all these characters are here in a second. No, the next note says, the only words I could get out of the transmission were don't and Doveport. I'll keep listening for any more potential transmissions from them. -B. -B is not actually Budgie. Again, we'll talk about this here in a second. No, the next note is actually from the captain. It says, I'm sorry, -Captain. So that one is from Budgie. Now, the next note says, I'm convinced Budgie does the pirate talk just to keep our spirits high in these dark times. It's working, but I can't imagine that it will work for long. -P. Next note says, she's told us many different versions of the accident. We don't know which one to believe. Something isn't right with the captain, I'll say. -B. Next one says, Bobby's mostly concerned about his family and not even how cold the trip will be. -K. This next one says, we're all doomed. Orders are to throw some of the infected or the suspects overboard. I saw Bobby get scratched while doing so. I have to report him. I have to do my duty. I'm sorry, old pal. -P. Next one says, Pepper is something else, alright. When it comes to his job, he tends to take it very seriously. Sometimes you can just see the dedication in his eyes. The next one says, Kenneth takes safety very seriously around here. If someone isn't safe, neither are we from his scolding. Hopefully he doesn't see this, -P. And then the last one is actually a Mr. Stitchy note on the side of the boat. I actually had to brighten it up to see it, and it literally just says nose. That's all it says. Again, I'll have a theory video on this probably later this week. Now, you're probably wondering who the -K, the -P, and the -B is. Well, from reading the notes, we know that -K is Kenneth, we know that -P is Pepper, and we know that -B is Bobby. So we have Bobby, we have Kenneth, we have Pepper, and we have Captain Budgie. Those were the crew. Now, Kenneth, Bobby, and Pepper are gone. They're infected. You can actually find them in the map. They're just sitting down. If you walk by them, they're going to get up and chase you. Captain Budgie is the only survivor. So when you're reading these notes, keep in mind K is Kenneth, P is Pepper, and B is Bobby. Those are the characters around the boat. Those were the crew on the boat per se. Now, something interesting here, and I mentioned this in the story part of this video, but they actually mentioned that Budgie is lying to them about the accident. In the previous chapter, in chapter 7, Budgie says that she lost her arm in a swimming accident. That's why she has a hook. But in this note, they say that Budgie is actually lying about this. She lied about where she lost her arm. And this isn't the only lie. She also lied about needing the fuel from down below. So what's going on with Budgie? Now, here's the interesting thing. All right, this is the big thing. This is the huge thing right here. Zizzy and Budgie are linked here. Budgie didn't lose her arm in a swimming accident. Budgie lost her arm because she got scratched. She got bit. Check out this note here. This note here says, they got me. Next to the captain, I was the last. Meaning that whoever wrote this, -K Kenneth wrote this note. He was the second to last person to get bit next to the captain. Which means that the captain lost her arm probably because she got scratched or bit. AKA Budgie got scratched or bit on the arm, and what did she do? She cut off her arm and she survived. Where did Zizzy get bit? She got bit on her arm, which means, guess what? She probably cut off her arm and survived. If Budgie did it, then you can bet that Zizzy probably did it too, which means Zizzy is probably going to show up later on in the chapter. This is it. I'm calling it now. I'm betting money on it. This is foreshadowing that Zizzy is alive. Now, other than that, we still don't know what's going on with Captain Budgie. Budgie is, I don't know, is Budgie possessed by something? Is Budgie just lying? Is she even the captain of the boat? Like, what's going on here? She's lied like 2 times now. She's obviously not a good guy. We don't know what's going on there. I'm betting that Budgie probably thought that if we were not going to make it going down into the bottom of the boat. That's why she sent us down there, because she lied about the fuel. But as of right now, we don't know. Again, I'll have more theory videos on this later this week. Now, as for the skins, we got the maintenance skin here. He's got a fire extinguisher. This is, what's his name again? Anyway, it's a pretty basic skin. It looks cool, but he's got a fire extinguisher, and he hits you with a fire extinguisher when you oof, and that's the skin. Now, the mummy skin. This skin is probably the creepiest skin in the entire game. It is wild, dude. Like, just look at it. The way it moves, the way it attacks. It is a very creepy looking skin. I love it. This may be my new favorite skin in the game. It looks incredible. And you can buy both of these skins on the store. I forget. I think they're like 400 coins each or something like that. 300, 400. Now, we need to talk about this. There is a big secret on this map that hasn't been uncovered yet. A very big Easter egg that I literally just found out right before I recorded this video. Someone tweeted me this. You guys remember the song that B-Slick uploaded? That weird, creepy music video with the Mr. Stitchy notes on it, right? You remember that? I made a video on it. That actually shows up in this map. There is some way to trigger some Morse code from the radio that's on this map. I don't know how to do it. I'm just going to play the video right here. As you could hear, the song is playing in the background. There's some way to trigger this. There's some giant Easter egg here. We just haven't really figured it out yet. I'm going to be doing a live stream later today where we figure out this Easter egg and try and figure out how to activate this Morse code. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty big. Don't miss it. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be live later today. You can come help us out and try and figure this out. But again, make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be doing the Roblox giveaway. I'm going to have tons of theory videos on everything going on, like what's going on with Captain Budgie. What's going on with Mr. Stitchy? What's going on with the crew? Like, where is all this going? I'll have videos on this later this week. Keep using star code RECREET when you're buying Roblox and Roblox Premium. It helps me out. I really appreciate it. Helps support the channel. Thank you very much for that. And of course, I'll see you guys later today for a brand new live stream figuring that out. Okay, I'll see you guys there. Bye.